The unexpected alliance. The research station Harmony Point hung in orbit around the disputed border world of Nexus IV, a fragile bubble of human ingenuity amidst the chaos of interstellar politics. Captain Maya Chen stood at the viewport, her dark eyes reflecting the swirling storms that perpetually ravaged the planet below. As chief science diplomat for the Earth Coalition, she'd spent 3 years on this assignment, studying atmospheric anomalies while serving as humanity's representative in this contested region of space. Captain, sensors are detecting an unidentified object approaching from the dark side of the planet, announced Lieutenant Ricky from the monitoring station. It's small, possibly a shuttle, but it's not broadcasting any recognized identification codes. Maya frowned. This region had become increasingly dangerous as tensions between the major galactic powers escalated. 4 different species claimed Nexus IV, each drawn by its unique quantum resonance fields and strategic position. Defensive protocols, level 3, she ordered calmly. But let's not be hasty. It could be a refugee vessel. The object approached cautiously, its trajectory suggesting deliberate rather than aggressive movement. As it came into visual range, Maya could see it was unlike any craft she recognized. Organic-looking, with fluid lines that seemed to shimmer and shift as it moved. It's requesting docking permission, Ricky reported, surprise evident in her voice. The transmission, it's in an ancient form of galactic standard. I've never seen anything like it. Grant permission, Maya decided after a moment's consideration. But seal all sensitive areas and have the security team on standby. 20 minutes later, Maya stood in the docking bay, flanked by security officers, as the strange vessel completed its docking sequence. The airlock cycled, and a figure emerged that caused even the trained security personnel to step back in shock. The being stood nearly 7 feet tall, with silvery blue skin that seemed to ripple with internal bioluminescence. Multiple pairs of arms, 4 in total, moved with fluid grace, while compound eyes the color of amber studied them with obvious intelligence. Most striking was the creature's semi-transparent cranium, within which Maya could see pulses of energy flowing like liquid thought. "Impossible," whispered Chief Security Officer Tanaka beside her. That's a Solari. They've been extinct for over 1 million years." The creature moved forward with careful precision and spoke, its voice resonating with harmonics that seemed to bypass the ears and vibrate directly in Maya's mind. "I am Vorex, last guardian of the Solari collective consciousness. I come seeking sanctuary and alliance with the humans of Earth." Over the next 12 hours, Maya learned more about galactic history than she had in her entire academic career. The Solari, once a dominant species in the galaxy, had not gone extinct as galactic records claimed. Instead, they had retreated into self-imposed exile when they discovered the truth about the hegemony, a secret coalition of advanced species that had been manipulating interstellar conflicts for millennia. "We recognized the pattern too late," Vorex explained as they sat in Maya's secured lab. "The hegemony seeds discord, introduces technological innovations to both sides of any developing conflict, and harvests the resulting chaos." "Harvests?" Maya questioned, her scientific mind struggling to process the implications. What could they possibly gain from perpetual war? Vorex's inner lights pulsed with what Maya was beginning to recognize as emotion. In this case, a mixture of sorrow and urgency. Conflict generates specific quantum resonance patterns. The more advanced the civilizations involved, the more powerful the resonance. The hegemony has developed technology to convert this energy into power. They are, essentially, farming sentient species for the energy their conflicts produce. Maya felt her blood run cold. Earth had been involved in 3 major interstellar conflicts in the past century alone, each more devastating than the last. Current tensions were escalating toward what many feared would be a full-scale galactic war. Why come to us? Humans are relatively new to interstellar society. We don't have the technological capacity to. Vorex interrupted, his inner lights flashing with intensity. But you have something more valuable. Unpredictability. Human neural patterns are unique among known species. Where other races follow predictable response algorithms when manipulated, humans frequently make choices that defy logical prediction. The hegemony cannot fully control you, which makes you their greatest threat and our greatest hope. Before Maya could respond, the station's emergency systems blared to life. Lieutenant Ricky's voice came over the communication system, tight with controlled panic. "Captain Chen, we have multiple vessels approaching. Configuration matches Krell warships, but they're broadcasting Vexian identification codes. They're demanding immediate surrender and the transfer of all anomalous entities on board." The hegemony, Vorax confirmed, rising to his full height. "They tracked me here. I've endangered your people." Maya made a split-second decision that would alter the course of galactic history. "Lieutenant, initiate emergency evacuation protocols. Transfer all essential research data to my personal encrypted storage, and prepare my research shuttle for immediate departure." Turning to Vorax, she continued, "I believe you. And if what you're saying is true, we need to get this information to Earth Central Command immediately. The hegemony ships will be focused on capturing the station. We can use the confusion to slip away." The next hour was chaos. As the crew evacuated to the planet's surface in escape pods, Maya and Vorax worked frantically to download crucial research data and prepare the shuttle. The small research vessel wasn't built for combat, but it had one significant advantage. Maya had modified its propulsion system during her atmospheric studies, incorporating experimental quantum field technology that, theoretically, could mask their energy signature. They launched just as the first explosions rocked the station, the hegemony forces beginning their systematic destruction of Harmony Point. Maya felt a pang of guilt for the research facility, but knew its sacrifice might save countless lives if they could reach Earth with their warning. "They will pursue us," Vorax said, his multiple arms working various controls with inhuman precision. "My presence represents a significant threat to their operations. Then we'll have to be smarter than them," Maya replied, activating the modified propulsion system. The shuttle shuddered as energy coursed through it, the stars outside the viewport blurring as they accelerated. "Can you interface with our systems? If your species could manipulate quantum fields." Vorax studied the human technology with his compound eyes, primitive by Solari standards, but elegantly designed. "Yes, I can enhance your modifications." As the hegemony ships regrouped to pursue them, Vorax connected directly with the shuttle systems. The bioluminescent patterns beneath his skin synchronized with the pulsing energy of the engines, and suddenly the shuttle seemed to phase in and out of conventional reality. "What did you do?" Maya asked in amazement as the pursuing ship's energy weapons passed harmlessly through their position. "I shifted us slightly out of phase with normal spacetime. We exist in a quantum superposition, both here and not here. It won't last long with your technology, but it should give us enough time to reach the asteroid field ahead. There we can transmit a warning to your people." As they navigated the treacherous asteroid field, Maya and Vorax worked together to compose a message that would convince Earth's Central Command of the hegemony's existence and threat. The combination of Maya's diplomatic training and Vorax's ancient knowledge created a compelling case, supplemented by data from Harmony Point sensors showing the impossible configuration of the attacking ships. "Will your people believe you?" Vorax asked as they prepared to transmit. "Will they accept the word of a human scientist and a member of a supposedly extinct species?" Maya's expression was grim but determined. "Honestly, I don't know. But humans have one other trait that might save us all. When faced with extinction, we refuse to go quietly. If even a few key people believe us, we have a chance." As they sent the transmission, multiple hegemony ships converged on their position. Their temporary quantum displacement was failing, and soon they would be exposed to the full firepower of their pursuers. "We need a diversion," Maya said, studying the tactical display. "Something to confuse their targeting systems while we make a run for the Epsilon Gateway." Vorex's inner lights pulsed with what Maya was beginning to recognize as determination. I can create a quantum echo, multiple false signatures that will appear identical to our shuttle, but it will require direct integration with your propulsion system. Do it, Maya said without hesitation, watching as Vorex extended tendrils of bioluminescent energy directly into the shuttle's power core. The effect was immediate and spectacular. Dozens of energy signatures identical to their shuttle blossomed across the asteroid field, each one a perfect quantum duplicate from the perspective of the hegemony sensors. In the ensuing confusion, Maya piloted their actual vessel through a narrow gap between two massive asteroids, pushing the engines beyond safe parameters. "The Epsilon Gateway is ahead," she announced, hands steady on the controls despite the growing number of warning lights on the console. "If we can make it through, we'll reach the human resistance fleet at Proxima Centauri." The shuttle shuddered violently as a glancing hit from a hegemony weapon struck their aft section. Systems failed across the board, life support flickering as they hurtled toward the swirling vortex of the gateway. "We won't make it intact," Vorex observed calmly, his multiple arms working frantically to reroute power. "The structural integrity is failing." Maya's jaw set with typical human determination. "We don't need to make it intact. We just need to make it through." With a final surge of power channeled directly from Vorex's quantum manipulation, the crippled shuttle plunged into the gateway, leaving their pursuers behind as they were flung across light years toward the last, best hope for both their species. Reshaping the cosmos, the remnants of Maya's shuttle tumbled out of the Epsilon Gateway into the Proxima Centauri system, trailing debris and venting atmosphere. Emergency beacons activated automatically, broadcasting their distress on all Earth Coalition frequencies. "Power at critical levels," Maya reported, struggling with the failing controls. "Life support will fail in approximately 20 minutes." Vorex, weakened by his efforts to maintain their quantum displacement, nevertheless continued to channel his energy into the shuttle's essential systems. "The gateway transition damaged my ability to maintain quantum coherence. I require time to regenerate." Maya watched the scanner anxiously, hoping the human resistance fleet was still stationed in this system. After the recent Krell offensive, many Earth defensive positions had been abandoned or relocated. Just as the life support warning shifted from amber to red, multiple signatures appeared on the scanner, a dozen ships moving in precise formation toward their position. "Earth Coalition vessels," Maya confirmed, relief evident in her voice. "We made it." The reception aboard the flagship Defiance was far from welcoming. Admiral Harrison, commander of the Resistance Fleet, regarded Vorex with undisguised suspicion, while his security officers kept weapons trained on the Solari at all times. "You expect me to believe that an extinct species has suddenly reappeared to warn us about some shadow conspiracy?" Harrison demanded, pacing the secure conference room. "Captain Chen, your record has been exemplary until now, but this story strains credibility beyond breaking point." Maya stood her ground. "Admiral, the data from Harmony Point confirms everything. The attacking ships were broadcasting Vexian codes, but using Krell weapon configurations, a combination that should be technologically impossible unless a third party was manipulating both species, and convenient that we can't verify this with Harmony Point directly, since it was destroyed," countered Harrison. Vorex, who had remained silent during the exchange, finally spoke. "Your skepticism is logical, Admiral, but consider, what would either of us gain from fabricating this claim? Captain Chen has risked her career and life. I have exposed myself to a society that might well choose to study rather than ally with me." The standoff might have continued indefinitely, if not for the arrival of Dr. Eliza Skoll, the fleet's chief science officer. After reviewing the data Maya had salvaged, she reluctantly confirmed that the energy signatures from the attacking ships couldn't be explained by any known technology. "There are quantum resonance patterns here that defy our current understanding," she admitted. "And the shuttle's modifications, the integration with Solari biological technology. It's revolutionary." Harrison remained skeptical but pragmatic. Even if everything you're saying is true, what exactly do you propose we do? If this hegemony has been manipulating interstellar civilizations for millennia, how can one damaged fleet hope to oppose them? It was Maya who answered, her diplomat's training evident in her measured tone. Not through direct confrontation, Admiral. Through exposure. The hegemony's power depends on secrecy and manipulation. If we can broadcast the truth to all species simultaneously, in a way that can't be intercepted or altered. Impossible, Harrison scoffed. Every known communication method can be jammed or corrupted. Vorex's inner lights pulsed with what might have been the Silari equivalent of a smile. Not every method, Admiral. The Silari developed quantum entanglement communication before our retreat. It cannot be intercepted because the information doesn't travel through space. It exists simultaneously at both points of contact. Our problem was scale, Vorex continued. We could never produce enough entangled particles to create a galaxy-wide network. But human ingenuity might solve what Silari theory could not. Over the next 3 weeks, as the fleet relocated repeatedly to avoid detection, Maya and Vorex worked with Dr. Skoll to develop what they called the Harmony Network. By combining Silari quantum manipulation with human manufacturing techniques, they created entangled communication nodes that could be rapidly deployed throughout known space. The plan was audacious. Small stealth vessels would deploy these nodes near major population centers of all known species. Once activated, they would create an unbreakable communication web that would simultaneously broadcast evidence of the hegemony's manipulation to every sentient being in the galaxy. Admiral Harrison, gradually convinced by the mounting evidence and the potential of the new technology, committed his fleet to the mission. But we need more than just exposure, he insisted during a strategy session. We need to strike at their command structure, disrupt their ability to respond when we activate the network. This led to the most dangerous phase of the plan. While the fleet deployed the communication nodes, a small strike team, including Maya and Vorex, would infiltrate what they believed to be the hegemony's central coordination facility, a massive space station disguised as a neutral diplomatic outpost in the Ta Sidi system. The infiltration almost failed before it began. Their stealth approach was detected, forcing them to abandon subtlety for speed. Fighting their way through increasingly sophisticated defense systems, Maya witnessed firsthand the truth of Vorex's claims. The supposed neutral station was staffed by members of species that should have been mortal enemies, all working in perfect coordination. In the central control chamber, they discovered the horrifying reality behind the hegemony's operations. Massive energy collectors orbited the artificial quantum singularity of the station's core, harvesting the resonance patterns generated by countless conflicts across the galaxy. The energy isn't just for power, Maya realized, scanning the data streams with growing horror. They're building something. A gateway of unprecedented scale. Vorex, interfacing directly with the hegemony systems, confirmed her suspicion. They are attempting to create a bridge to another galaxy, to expand their harvest. The current level of conflict is insufficient for their needs, so they have been escalating tensions, pushing toward a full-scale galactic war that would generate enough energy to power their gateway. As alarms blared announcing the arrival of hegemony security forces, Maya made the decision to activate the Harmony Network prematurely. If they waited for optimal deployment, they might lose their only chance to access the hegemony's own systems. Do it, she ordered. Use their own communication array to amplify our signal. Vorex hesitated. The strain on the existing nodes will be enormous. Many will burn out after transmission. One chance is all we need, Maya insisted. Humanity built its civilization on making the most of single chances. As security forces breached the outer doors of the control chamber, Vorex channeled his quantum manipulation abilities into the station's communication array, creating a bridge to the partially deployed Harmony Network. The effect was immediate and far more powerful than they had anticipated. Not only did every connected communication device in the galaxy receive undeniable evidence of the hegemony's manipulation, but the quantum feedback created a cascade effect through the hegemony's own systems. Their carefully maintained illusions of separate identities collapsed as their operatives were exposed simultaneously across all worlds. The security forces storming the control rooms suddenly faltered, their neural implants overwhelmed by contradictory instructions as the truth of their own manipulation became clear to them. Many simply stopped, removing their weapons and staring at each other in confusion and dawning horror. In the chaos that followed, Maya and the strike team managed to escape the station, but not before setting the quantum singularity to collapse in a controlled manner, destroying the hegemony's harvesting capability without triggering a catastrophic explosion that would have claimed billions of lives in the surrounding systems. The aftermath transformed galactic society. With the truth exposed, centuries of artificial conflict began to resolve. Species that had been manipulated into seeing each other as existential threats now cautiously explored cooperation. The human resistance fleet, once on the verge of destruction, became the core of a new interspecies alliance dedicated to dismantling the remaining hegemony infrastructure and rebuilding a galaxy free from their influence. 6 months after the TAS CD operation, Maya stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned Alliance vessel Harmony, watching as representatives from 27 formerly warring species gathered for the signing of the Proxima Accords. Beside her, Vorex, now the official ambassador of the returning Silari, observed with his compound eyes. "Your people were right to name their vessels after aspirational concepts," Vorex commented. "Defiance against manipulation. Harmony between species. Humans name things not for what they are, but for what they might become." Maya smiled, watching as the diverse gathering of species below engaged in animated discussion, already collaborating on projects to rebuild worlds damaged by artificial conflicts. "That's our greatest strength," she replied. "Humans never accept the universe as it is. We always see what it could be." As the formal signing ceremony began, Maya reflected on how a chance encounter between a human scientist and a supposedly extinct alien had cascaded into a transformation that would echo across the cosmos for millennia to come. The galaxy was entering an unprecedented era of cooperation and advancement, with humans and Silari at its heart. Proof that sometimes the most profound changes begin with the simplest of human qualities, the willingness to trust a stranger when all logic argues against it. In the observation lounge after the ceremony, Admiral Harrison approached Maya and Vorex, his former skepticism replaced by hard-won respect. "The quantum engineers have analyzed the remnants of the hegemony gateway," he informed them. "They believe we can adapt the technology, use it to explore rather than exploit. With Silari, quantum manipulation, and human innovation, we could reach other galaxies within a generation." Vorex's inner lights pulsed with excitement, not as conquerors or harvesters, but as explorers and ambassadors, Maya finished. "That's what humanity does best. We turn weapons into tools, obstacles into opportunities." As they gazed out at the stars, each potentially home to civilizations yet undiscovered, Maya felt a profound sense of purpose. The universe was vast beyond comprehension, but for the first time in millennial memory, it faced a unified alliance built on cooperation rather than conflict. And at its foundation stood the most unlikely partnership of all: a human who had risked everything on trust, and an alien who had emerged from the shadows of history to offer friendship instead of fear. The cosmos would never be the same again.